Hi. So I thought it would be fun to recreate some of my old videos. And today we are going to be talking about my top 10 favorites. When I did this the first time, I only did my top 8 and I was going to do top 10. But at that point, I did not realize just because I didn't have the book doesn't mean I couldn't still talk about it. So yeah, that ended up being top 8 because the last 3 weren't at the library yet, and I was like, yeah, I can't talk about it because I'm not gonna be able to hold it in my hands. We know now, so we're good. First, we're gonna talk about the books that I put in this video. This video was 2 years ago on February 21st, 2018. That's a long time ago. And the first book I talked about was Coraline. Still love that book. Not really a favorite. Most of these are not really favorites anymore, but I still like them. Second one was Dorothy Must Die. I have read all of them. I think they're good. Will I reread them? Probably not. I haven't really even seen much about that series, but it is good. You should read it. Third one was Every Day. After reading that one, and there was like a novella, and then the second one, you know, it was a good concept. I liked the movie. I did react to it on this channel, and I think it's a good book. Is it my favorite anymore? No. But it's fine. I also have Someone Else's Summer, which when I read that, I really loved it. Like, that was one of my all-time favorites. It's cute, it's sad, but it's still like one of those fast, like, contemporary, so pick it up if you can. Next is Warcross. I barely think about this book anymore, and I think I just saw they're making like a movie or TV series, which I will be happy to watch. But again, I liked it. I did not like the sequel. I read that on like 2x on the audiobook, and I still knew what was going on without really paying attention to it. The only repeat on here is obviously gonna be Red Queen, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Next, Caraval. I did finish that series and I did like it. Do I remember everything that happened in that? No. It's also like, again, will I reread it? Probably not. Next the last one is Illuminae, and Haley actually bought me the box set for my birthday because I still have not read Obsidio, and I need to, but I wanted to reread these two just in case, because I know there's different characters, but they still like connect. So, and I'm really excited to have the paperbacks because I'm honestly prefer paperbacks more, but it's not always. Okay, now for today's 2020 recent, so all of these are different except for, of course, Red Queen. Now, when I posted that video, those I believe were all library books except for Coraline, but I now have the physical book because I got them for Christmas one year, and just because I did reread this and I actually got to mark it this time. I have kind of started Glass Sword, but these are, I am rereading the series so I can read Broken Throne, but I'm not like putting them as a priority. Now this book, either you love it, you hate it. I love this book because this is what really got me reading as an adult, and this used to be my main one to recommend to people. Now when I recommend books, I talk about Sorcery of Thorns. Now when I got this, I got the same, we got these in Owl Crate and Fairy Loot, and so what I did was I kept the Fairy Loot book because I like this, and then I just took the Owl Crate dust jacket, and then I gave the other book to one of my friends, and I just like, you know, I love purple, I love this, so why not put them together. Also, the Fairy Loot one was a little bit bigger, which is funny, but yes, Sorcery of Thorns is now one of my, it's so good. It's about magic and libraries. Like, what more could you ask for? Like, and I have started seeing this more on TikTok, and I'm so happy that more people are actually starting to read this, and everyone should read it. I really need to read An Enchantment of Ravens because I've heard that one was really good too, but we'll get there eventually. Next is, did I read this year? I don't remember. But I have read Scythe and Thunderhead. I have not read The Toll yet, just because the paperback version isn't even out yet. And I found this one and the second one at Half Price Books, even though it was already kind of dingy. I was like, it's okay. I'm pretty sure Haley was one of the ones who told me to read this, and I think I have another one from her in the stack. Yes. After reading this, I was like, you know, being a Scythe would be kind of cool, but then also it wouldn't be, because there are so many rules. And also this cover, it's so pretty. I also don't think I really see this book that much, and I also like, it's either I see it a lot or I don't see it at all. And sometimes when I see it, it's just like everyone's like, it's okay, and I can see that everyone's got their own opinions. The next is To Kill a Kingdom. I love Little Mermaid retellings, if you know me, and this is probably my favorite. I want to reread this because honestly I don't remember exactly what happens, but I know I loved it. And I did read this one in the library book, and then I bought it for myself because it's such a good book. And I think I'm going to add this to my October TBR, because I actually might, who knows, we'll see, don't hold me accountable for this, but we might be doing TBRs again, just because I want to read so many books and I get so flustered sometimes on what I want to read that maybe I do need to do TBRs and just be like, pick one of these, don't think about anything else, just do it. Next book that I think I read, I don't remember. Next is Criers' War. I have the sequel in my Amazon cart. And I have Blood and Honey, and I have Reflection. But we're not buying them yet because girl is still trying to move out. You know the drill. But I loved this book. I love Crier. I love the whole romance that's kind of there, but it's like it's not the main part of the series. And I'm just like, I need to know what goes on more in this book, but COVID, you gotta save your money. Next is Sadie. Now, you know that if you know me, you know how much I like Courtney Summers. This is a good book to me because I got this from NetGalley, and that was one of my first arcs that I got from them, and when it came out I bought it, and I'm probably again going to reread this because it's such a good book. It's got a podcast, it's about murder, it's about siblings and how much they really, as an only child I don't know siblings bond, but in this I could really tell. Plus I just read The Hen Wars, that has a really good like sister relationship, and you know, just makes you feel a lot more lonely growing up without someone. But I just got The Project on NetGalley, and this hurt me. She knows it hurts you. The Project apparently is going to hurt me too, and I'm like ready but like not ready at the same time. I'm reading that, I know, in October, and I'm just like, okay. Next and lastly is We Hunt the Flame. I don't know. Okay, so a lot of times Haley and I buddy read, and we were supposed to buddy read this one. She read it and I didn't. I don't remember why. I think I might have started a slump when I started this. And you know, it took me a while. She's like, read it. I'm like, I will. I finally do, and I finally understand why she loves this book so much. Like, this had me on edge the whole time. I did mark this one, which you can't see because for my birthday, my grandma gave me the sticky notes that, where is it? The sticky notes that are transparent. So I started doing that in this one just to see how I would like it. Now, I mean, I'm gonna have to like them because it came in a lot, but I want to show you. Here we go. God. So what I did was I still highlighted and I wrote in it, but at least this time when you write in it, It's easy. I mean, yeah, it's still highlighted, so if I did want to give it away, it's like, it's still marked, but my words aren't in it. Even though I don't really, but I got those because I did want to start writing in books, but I didn't want to write in them. So, yes, We Hunt the Flame, Sadie, Crier's War, oh, wait, that's not the last one. A Song I accidentally put Arc of War, but that's A Quarter of Wings and Ruin. But the next one that we are going to talk about is A Song of Wrath and Ruin. I cannot remember this book's name. So the next book we're going to talk about is A Song of Wrath and Ruin. I could not get the name right for so long. But I read that this year so my library, like, it closed for COVID and then opened up again and then it closed again. But like, I could still go through the drive-thru to pick up books, but I don't like talking to people. A lot of times there's a line. It's too hot to be waiting in that line. But I did read that this year. Oh my god. So I tried to do a makeup look, which I did do. It's in my Instagram if you want to go see it. But I loved this book. I love fantasy, which most of these I think are fantasies. I know if you're like, yeah, fantasies, read A Court of Thorn and Roses. A Court of Thorn and Roses isn't that good. Yes, it's good, and I liked it, and I spent money on having the whole set. But honestly, if I was gonna pick a Sarah J Maas book, I would rather pick Throne of Glass, even though, again, Sarah J Maas is not a good person to represent people of color. Sidetracked. Read As a War. And the last book that we are going the next book we are going to be talking about is Something to Talk About, which is my new favorite lesbian book. It is I actually got that from the library too before it closed again, because I like to go in, grab my book, check out, leave, don't want to talk to anybody. My generation, we are all anxious. I listened to this one also when reading it, and I think that really gets you embraced into the story more, because we love a good lesbian story. My camera just stopped. I think I recorded for too long. I think it's an adult book too, and I don't really read adult books, but it was cool to go from, like, you know, it wasn't enemies to lovers. It was my boss and an assistant, which was a very different way, or different like reading than I have, because mostly all of these are either like teenagers or young adults. But now it was good to actually have some adults. Oh, next book that, again, I am all over the place. The next book that we are going to be talking about is The Beautiful. This book is beautiful, and I was one of those people who loved Twilight in 8th grade when I read it. And now that I think about it, I am one of those people who I think is trash. If I am now going to recommend vampire books, I am recommending The Beautiful. I got this, I have the ebook for both of this, and I need to read The Damned. But I was so in love with this book. Like, everyone's like, you want a vampire book? Here. Also, I think I need to read Crave, which is, I think that's another vampire book. But I was reading it. I think I only got through the first few chapters. I'm like, this is so much better than Twilight. And I was like, Haley, read it. It's better than Twilight. She's like, I never read Twilight. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, if you want vampires, read The Beautiful. Plus, it's a pretty cover too. Like, even The Damned, I'm just like, yes to these covers. I'm going to have to buy the physical book eventually. So that is... So thank you so much for watching. I will put my first video down below. It's very cringy. I am very different than what I am now. I still don't really have the whole filming thing down. I still have trouble talking about these, and I think we're just gonna have to keep struggling until we get it right. And I have not wanted to film since the last time I filmed, but yesterday, you know, but then I was just like, you know what, let's film. I hope to see you all again soon, so bye.